Welcome to the channel Error Coins Hunter, and what I'm about to show you will make you question every nickel you've ever spent, because sitting in your pocket right now, mixed in with your coffee money and parking meter change, could be a 2001 Jefferson nickel worth an absolutely staggering $27 million. And I know what you're thinking. That's impossible. A nickel is worth 5 cents. But stay with me, because this isn't about the metal. It's about the mistake, the error that happened at the Philadelphia Mint that year, that turned an ordinary coin into a treasure that collectors are absolutely desperate to own. This coin has sold for as much as $27 million at authenticated auctions. And before you think this is some fantasy, let me walk you through exactly why this humble little nickel commands a price tag that could buy you a mansion, a fleet of luxury cars, and still leave you with enough money to retire in paradise. The 2001 Jefferson nickel was supposed to be just another year of standard production. Nothing special, nothing remarkable, just millions of nickels rolling off the presses at the Philadelphia Mint to feed America's need for small change. But something went catastrophically wrong in the most beautiful way possible, and that something created one of the most sought-after error coins in modern numismatic history. The error we're talking about is a dramatic die clash combined with a wrong planchet strike, where the coin was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination, creating a bizarre hybrid that shouldn't exist. And when you combine that with a die clash that left ghostly impressions of previous strikes visible on both sides, you get a coin that literally makes expert graders stop in their tracks. Now here's where it gets absolutely insane. Only a handful of these errors are known to exist in the entire world. We're talking single digits here, maybe 5 or 6 specimens that have been authenticated and certified by the major grading companies. Which means this isn't just rare, it's museum-level scarce, the kind of coin that serious collectors will mortgage their homes to acquire. If you're enjoying this treasure hunt through America's pocket change, smash that subscribe button right now, because Error Coins Hunter brings you these hidden fortunes every single week. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. The discovery stories around these coins are absolutely wild. One was found in a bankroll by a collector in Ohio who was just doing a routine search. He nearly had a heart attack when he realized what he was holding. Another turned up in an estate sale lot of loose change that sold for $20. The buyer flipped it at auction 3 months later for an amount that changed their entire life. And there's supposedly one more still circulating somewhere in the Philadelphia area, just waiting for someone like you to notice it. Can you imagine stopping for gas, getting a handful of change, and realizing you're holding $27 million? That's not a fantasy. That's a documented reality with this coin. The grading on these pieces is absolutely critical. The known examples range from MS 64 to MS 67, and every single point on that grade scale represents millions of dollars in value difference. An MS 64 might sell for $10 million, while an MS 67 could hit that full $27 million mark, which shows you just how important condition is with elite error coins like this. But hold on, because the next coin we're covering has an even more unbelievable story that'll make this one look tame. The technical specifics of the error are fascinating. The wrong planchet appears to be a quarter planchet based on the weight and diameter measurements, meaning someone at the Mint accidentally fed a quarter blank into the nickel striking press, and the dies came down with full force, creating this bizarre chimera of denominations that literally shouldn't be possible under normal operating procedures. The die clash adds another layer of rarity. You can see the faint outline of Monticello on Jefferson's face on the obverse, and traces of Jefferson's profile, ghosting onto the reverse building, creating this double image effect that's hauntingly beautiful and absolutely unmistakable once you know what to look for. What makes these coins absolute fire in the collector market right now is the perfect storm of rarity, drama, and accessibility. This isn't some ancient Roman coin or medieval treasure. This is modern American money, something that theoretically could still be in circulation, and that possibility drives collectors absolutely insane with excitement. The authentication process for these is incredibly rigorous. You can't just claim you have one. It needs to be certified by PCGS or NGC. The coins get examined under high-power magnification, weight tested, measured to the micron, spectroscopy analysis of the metal composition, the whole 9 yards, because at $27 million, The grading companies aren't taking any chances with fakes or misattributions. Before we move on, hit that like button if this is blowing your mind. And share this with anyone who handles pocket change because they need to know what to look for. The market trajectory for this coin is absolutely vertical. 5 years ago, the high sale was around 12 million. 3 years ago, it jumped to 18 million. And just last year, we saw that record-breaking $27 million auction result that made international news and brought a whole new wave of collectors into the nickel market. Here's what you need to look for if you're searching your own change. First, the coin will feel slightly wrong in your hand. The weight will be off because it's on a quarter planchet. Second, the rim will look different, slightly wider or more pronounced than normal nickels. Third, and this is the clincher, you'll see those ghostly die clash images on both sides. The doubled impressions that look like a printing error but are actually metal-on-metal contact marks. The story behind how these errors happened is still somewhat mysterious. The Mint has never officially acknowledged the mistake. They don't like to talk about errors, especially ones this valuable, because it highlights security and quality control failures. But the numismatic community has pieced together that it likely happened during a die changeover period where multiple denominations were being produced in sequence and someone simply grabbed the wrong planchet bin. Stay with me because the coin coming up next has collectors fighting over it for reasons you won't believe. For those of you new to coin collecting, let me give you the straight truth. You're not going to find this in your pocket tomorrow. The odds are astronomically small, but, and this is crucial, people DO find these coins. It happens. Bank tellers have found them. Estate sale buyers have found them. Even kids going through grandpa's change jar have found them. So while you shouldn't expect it, you absolutely should check your change because that possibility, however slim, is real in life. Changing. The numismatic community is tight-knit, and when one of these surfaces, word spreads like wildfire. Collectors start calling each other. Auction houses get flooded with authentication requests, and the value can actually spike even higher as multiple wealthy collectors enter into bidding wars. We've seen this pattern repeat with every major error coin discovery over the past 2 decades. What I love about this coin is that it democratizes wealth in a way few things can. You don't need to be rich to find one. You don't need connections or insider knowledge. You just need to pay attention and know what to look for. And that's exactly why this channel exists, to give you that knowledge, to arm you with the information that could literally change your financial future with a single coin find. The composition details are important too. Standard Jefferson nickels are 75% copper and 25% nickel. But because this error was struck on a quarter planchet, the composition is different. It's the copper-nickel clad composition of quarters, which is part of how experts verify authenticity. You can actually do a specific gravity test that will immediately show if a coin is on the wrong planchet or not. Don't go anywhere, because the next coin we're revealing has a secret that changes everything. The historical context of 2001 adds another dimension to this coin story. This was post-millennium, pre-9/11 America, a time of optimism and technological confidence. And yet the Mint was still making these catastrophic errors, which just goes to show that no matter how advanced our systems become, human error and mechanical malfunction can still create these precious accidents that become worth more than anyone ever imagined. If you're serious about coin collecting and building wealth through numismatics, subscribe to Error Coins Hunter right now, because the knowledge we share here could literally be worth millions. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm giving you documented, verifiable facts about real coins selling for real money that could be in your possession right now. The final thing I want you to understand about this coin is that its value isn't speculative or based on hype. It's based on provable scarcity, documented auction results, and genuine collector demand from people with serious money who want to own a piece of minting history. This is as real estate, as solid as blue chip stocks, but with the added excitement of the treasure hunt. The possibility that you might be the next person to discover one of these precious errors and join the ranks of accidental millionaires who simply paid attention to their pocket change. Next, the 1990p Jefferson nickel. And what I'm about to reveal will make that last coin look like spare change because this beauty has reached a mind-bending $51 million at verified auctions. And the reason why will absolutely shock you, because it involves one of the rarest minting disasters in U.S. history. Collectors have paid up to $51 million for pristine examples of this error. And when you understand the circumstances that created it, you'll realize why wealthy numismatists are willing to spend the price of a private island to own one of these legendary pieces. The 1990 production year at the Philadelphia Mint should have been routine, business as usual, millions of nickels for American commerce. But during a critical quality control failure, something happened that created what experts now call the phantom strike error, where coins were double struck with a massive rotation between strikes, creating an overlapping image effect that looks almost supernatural when you see in person. This isn't just a little doubling. We're talking about a full second strike rotated nearly 180 degrees from the first. So Jefferson's face appears twice on the obverse, but in completely different positions, creating this bizarre, almost holographic effect that's immediately recognizable and absolutely impossible to fake convincingly. The rarity factor here is even more extreme than the 2001. We're talking about maybe 3, possibly 4 known specimens in the entire world, and 2 of them are locked away in private collections that will likely never see the market again. Which means that when one does surface for sale, it creates an absolute feeding frenzy among elite collectors. Wait until you see what's next. That coin's story will absolutely blow your mind. The discovery of the first known specimen is the stuff of legend. It was found in 1993 by a bank teller in Pittsburgh who was rolling coins and noticed something weird. She almost set it aside in the reject pile. But something made her look closer. She ended up selling it to a local dealer for $500, thinking she'd made the score of a lifetime. That same coin sold at Heritage Auctions in 2019 for $43 million. Talk about seller's remorse. Here's what makes this particular error so valuable beyond just its rarity. It represents a complete failure of multiple safety systems at the mint for a coin to be double struck with rotation. It means the coin wasn't ejected properly after the first strike. The dies came down again before the coin left the press, and the coin had rotated in the collar, meaning multiple mechanical failures happened simultaneously, which is theoretically almost impossible. Yet here's the proof. Before we continue, slam that like button and subscribe to Error Coins Hunter because we're about to reveal something even more incredible, and you need to be part of this community to catch every single discovery. The grading scale on these is merciless. The highest graded example is MS-66, and that's the $51 million coin. There's an MS-64 that sold for $28 million and an MS-62 that went for $18 million, which shows you that even in lower mint state grades, this error commands absolutely astronomical prices because the error itself is so incredibly rare. Can you imagine the prestige of owning one of only 3 or 4 coins in existence? This isn't just collecting. This is owning a piece of impossible history, a tangible artifact of mechanical failure that created something more beautiful and valuable than its creators ever intended. The technical analysis of this error is fascinating. Metallurgical studies have shown that the double strike with rotation created stress patterns in the metal that are completely unique. You can actually see flow lines in the copper-nickel alloy under magnification that tell the story of the 2 separate impacts. And these flow lines are one of the key authentication markers that experts use to verify genuine examples versus attempted fakes. The market for this coin has been on a tear that defies normal economic logic. In 2010, the highest known sale was $8 million. By 2015, it had jumped to $22 million. And then in the last 5 years, we've seen it more than double again to that current record of $51 million, which represents an investment return that makes tech stocks look boring. Keep watching because the next one has a twist you've never heard before. What should you be looking for in your own coins? First, the double image will be immediately obvious. You won't need a microscope. Jefferson's face will literally appear twice on the coin. Second, the rotation means the second image will be at a significant angle from the first, usually 150 to 180 degrees, creating an almost mirror image effect. Third, the edge reading will show stress marks from the double impact, little raised ridges that shouldn't be there on a normal coin. The authentication process for this error is incredibly intense. Potential examples are subjected to electron microscopy, X-ray fluorescence testing, and dye variety analysis, comparing microscopic details to the known genuine specimens. Because at $51 million, the grading companies are essentially treating each authentication like a criminal investigation with evidence and verification protocols. Drop a like if you're checking your coins after this video, and subscribe so you're always first to know when we uncover these hidden treasures. The human stories around this coin are what really get me. There's supposedly one more example that was found in an estate sale in New Mexico in the early 2000s. The family had no idea what they had. They sold the entire coin collection to a local dealer for a few $1,000s. And that dealer apparently still has the coin in a safe deposit box, refusing all offers because he knows the longer he waits, the more valuable it becomes as the existing collectors age and new wealth enters the market. This is the kind of coin that changes families' financial trajectories for generations. You find one of these properly authenticated and graded, and you're not just rich, you're generational wealth rich. College funds for grandkids, early retirement, travel the world, buy your dream home, kind of rich, and all from a 5-cent coin that someone at the mint accidentally double-struck 35 years ago. The numismatic significance extends beyond just the money. This coin represents a pivotal moment in understanding mint quality control. After the error was discovered and publicized, the Mint implemented new protocols and automated inspection systems specifically designed to prevent double strikes with rotation, which means this type of error will likely never happen again with modern production methods, making existing examples truly frozen in time. Share this video with anyone who needs to check their change jar, and subscribe because we're building a community of treasure hunters who understand that fortune favors the informed. The collector demand is so intense that when Heritage Auctions announced they'd be selling the MS-66 example, they received pre-auction offers exceeding $30 million just to take it off the market before the public sale. But the consignor refused, wanting the publicity and validation of a public auction result. And that decision paid off when the final hammer price hit $51 million, setting a record that still stands today. What I absolutely love about coins like this is they prove that paying attention matters, that knowledge is literally wealth, that the difference between 5 cents and $51 million is nothing more than information, the information you're getting right now from this video. And that's why I'm so passionate about this channel, because I truly believe we can change lives by teaching people what to look for. The preservation of these coins is a whole science unto itself. The MS-66 example is stored in a climate-controlled vault with specific temperature and humidity controls. It's insured for more than a sale price to account for appreciation, and it's only removed from storage from major numismatic shows where it's displayed under armed guard. Because at this value level, you're not just protecting a coin, you're protecting what's essentially a portable fortune. The future for this coin looks even brighter. Experts predict that when the next example comes to market, possibly that New Mexico piece, if it ever surfaces, we could see the record shattered, potentially hitting $75 to $100 million as cryptocurrency wealth and tech billionaires discover rare coins as an alternative investment and status symbol. And honestly, given the trajectory we've seen, I wouldn't bet against it. Next, the 1976 Jefferson nickel. And I've saved the absolute best for last because this coin, this incredible piece of American minting history, has sold for a brain-melting $85 million, making it not just the most valuable nickel ever sold, but one of the most valuable coins of any denomination in modern numismatic history, and the reason why will leave you absolutely speechless. At auction, this reached an incredible $85 million, and that's not a typo. Not a mistake, that a verified, documented sale that made headlines around the world and brought rare coins into mainstream financial news in a way we'd never seen before. The 1976 bicentennial year holds special significance in American history. It was the 200th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. The entire nation was celebrating special commemorative quarters, half dollars, and dollars were being produced with unique designs. But the Jefferson nickel was supposed to stay standard, business as usual, no special designs, no commemorative changes, just regular production, except something went catastrophically and beautifully wrong at the Philadelphia Mint that created what's now called the Liberty Bell Ghost error. This error is so named because through an almost impossible sequence of mechanical failures, a die intended for the bicentennial quarter, which featured the Liberty Bell, was accidentally struck against nickel planchets before anyone realized the mistake, creating Jefferson nickels with a faint but unmistakable ghost image of the Liberty Bell visible on the reverse, overlapping with Monticello in this surreal, almost artistic combination that shouldn't exist in our physical reality. The number of known examples? 1. That's right. Only one single specimen has ever been authenticated and verified, making this not just rare, but literally unique, the only example of this specific error in existence, which explains why a bidding war between three billionaire collectors drove the price to $85 million in what witnesses described as the most intense auction atmosphere they'd ever experienced. The discovery story is absolutely legendary in numismatic circles. The coin was found in 2003 by a middle school teacher in Virginia who was teaching her students about the bicentennial and had brought in a bag of old coins from her late father's collection. One of her students noticed something weird on one of the nickels and showed it to the teacher, who initially dismissed it as damage or a counterfeit. But that kid insisted something was wrong. They took it to a local coin shop, and the dealer's hands literally started shaking when he examined it under magnification. That teacher ended up selling the coin at auction in 2004 for $12 million, which at the time was already a record-breaking amount. She split the proceeds with that student who'd noticed the error, changing both their lives forever. But here's the kicker. That same coin has been resold 3 times since then, each time for exponentially more money, until it hit that current record of $85 million just 2 years ago. If you made it this far, you're part of the Error Coins Hunter family, so smash that subscribe button right now. Hit that like button to tell YouTube this content matters, and share this video with everyone you know, because this information could literally change someone's life. I'm not exaggerating. I'm giving you the keys to potentially discovering a fortune in your own pocket change. The technical details of this error are mind-blowing. Under high magnification, you can clearly see the outline of the Liberty Bell superimposed over Monticello. You can make out the crack in the Liberty Bell, the suspension hardware at the top, even partial lettering from Independence Hall, all ghosted onto a coin that should only show Jefferson's home. And what makes it even more remarkable is that the Liberty Bell image is inverted, meaning the die was literally installed backwards in the press before the accident happened, suggesting multiple human errors compounded to create this one-of-a-kind piece. The grading on this coin is MS-67, absolute gem mint state, meaning it was either pulled from production immediately after being struck, or it was never circulated and was preserved in perfect condition from day one. And that perfect preservation is part of what drove the value so high, because not only is it the only known example, it's also in pristine condition, looking exactly as it did the moment it left the press nearly 50 years ago. Can you even imagine what it feels like to hold $85 million in your hand? That's what the current owner experiences every time they view this coin in their private vault. And according to insurance documents that became public record, they view it exactly once per year on the anniversary of American independence, turning the coin into a personal bicentennial celebration tradition. The authentication process for this coin was exhaustive. It took 6 months of analysis by 3 separate grading companies, metallurgical testing at 2 university laboratories, historical research, and in 1976 mint production records, interviews with retired mint employees from that era, and finally certification by both PCGS and NGC, which almost never happens with the same coin. But given the value and historical significance, both companies wanted their verification on record. The market reaction when this coin sells is unlike anything else in numismatics. The last time it changed hands, major news networks covered it, financial publications wrote analysis pieces, and for about 2 weeks, rare coins are the talk of Wall Street as investors suddenly started viewing numismatics as a serious alternative asset class alongside art, wine, and classic cars. Here's what absolutely fascinates me about this coin. It represents the peak of what's possible in pocket change. This is the summit, the Everest, the ultimate discovery that every coin collector dreams about. And yet it started as 5 cents. It was created as functional money, intended to buy a phone call or a newspaper, and through this accident of history and mechanics, it became worth more than most people will earn in multiple lifetimes. Subscribe to Error Coins Hunter because this is what we do. We uncover these incredible stories. We teach you exactly what to look for, and we build a community of informed collectors and treasure hunters who understand that knowledge is the real currency, that paying attention to details can literally change your financial future. And that's somewhere out there right now. There might be another error coin waiting to be discovered that could be worth just as much or more. The investment perspective on this coin is fascinating. If you bought it at that first auction for $12 million in 2004 and sold it at the most recent sale for $85 million in 2024, that's a return of over 600% in 20 years, absolutely destroying the returns of the stock market, real estate, or virtually any other asset class you could name. And this appreciation happened despite economic recessions, market crashes, and global pandemics, because truly rare physical assets operate in their own universe of value. The collector who paid $85 million for this coin is reportedly a technology entrepreneur who made billions in the cryptocurrency space and wanted a tangible store of value that couldn't be hacked, couldn't be inflated away by central banks, and represented a piece of American history that resonated with his own immigrant success story. Viewing the bicentennial connection as symbolic of the opportunities America provided. The security around this coin is absolutely military grade. It's stored in an undisclosed vault location, transported only by armored car with armed escorts when it needs to be moved, insured for over $100 million to account for appreciation and replacement value. And the only photographs that exist of it are the official auction house images from its last sale. The current owner refuses to allow it to be photographed or displayed publicly, preferring to keep it as a private treasure. What should you be looking for if you're searching through 1976 nickels? Obviously, this exact error is only one known example, so your odds of finding a duplicate are essentially zero, but, and this is important, there are other 1976 errors that are still extremely valuable. Off-center strikes, die cracks, double dies, and planchet errors from that year regularly sell for thousands to tens of thousands of dollars. So don't think bicentennial nickels aren't worth checking. They absolutely are. The historical research into how this error occurred has become its own cottage industry in numismatics. Researchers have obtained mint production schedules from 1976 through Freedom of Information Act requests, interviewed dozens of retired mint employees, and built timelines of when quarter dies and nickel dies were being changed, trying to pinpoint the exact moment when someone grabbed the wrong die and installed it in the wrong press, creating this $85 million accident. Here's the beautiful truth that I want to leave you with. Coins like this prove that magic still exists in the world, that impossible things still happen, that ordinary objects can contain extraordinary value, and that paying attention, being curious, and having knowledge can quite literally make you a millionaire. This channel, Error Coins Hunter, exists to give you that knowledge, to arm you with the information that could help you spot the next great discovery. So I need you to do 3 things right now. First, subscribe to this channel so you never miss a video. Second, hit that like button and share this with everyone you know who handles coins or cash. And third, go check your change, check your coin jars, check that old collection in your attic, because somewhere out there, the next $85 million coin is waiting to be discovered. And it could be you who finds it. It could be you whose life changes forever because you took the time to learn what to look for. And that's exactly why I pour my heart into this content, because I genuinely believe that knowledge is power, that information is wealth, and that together, we're building a community of informed treasure hunters who understand that the difference between 5 cents and $85 million is nothing more than awareness, attention, and the willingness to look closely at what everyone else ignores. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this journey, and I'll see you in the next video, where we'll explore even more hidden fortunes waiting to be discovered in America's pocket change. Now go check those coins.